Hi guys, welcome to my coffee show. My name is Jack and today I have a big one for you. Those are the two grinders that lots of you will be choosing in the next few months. Through this video I will try to talk about some pros and cons. Later on we will do the most important. We will do the taste test, both espresso and the pour over. By the end I will try to tell you which one I think you should get and why. So if you're as excited as myself, click like, sit tight and enjoy. So, both of those grinders are made in China. Niche Duo design in UK. DF83, part of that DF family of Chinese grinders, great grinders. Both are 83mm grinders, and that's probably where the similarities ends. DF83 has got that big powerful engine, 550 watts, 1400 RPMs. Because it's so powerful, it vibrates. It can also jump when you turn it on. With those 83mm Itamil burrs, it grinds extremely fast. It can grind for anything from very fine to very coarse. You've got a clear grind indicator. You also have a blower that helps to take away some of that residue of coffee inside. There is some static, so I like to use RDT for this grind. It comes in two colors, black or white. It's made mostly of aluminium, it's very heavy. It got a nice switch on the side that I really like. It got the electric wire on the side, which I really hate. Honestly, I like the look. Fits almost any kitchen, almost every coffee setup. Niche Duo also comes in two colors. There is white or the black that I went for. It's definitely lighter. It weighs only around 5 kg. I like those wooden accents on a Niche Duo. I think they're of the better quality than on a Niche Zero. I love the clear grind indicator. I really like the electric wire on the back of the grinder where it should, not on the side. And also you can hide the electric cable inside the grinder. I like the look of the catching cup, but I'm not sure about the functionality. If you use RDT, and I think you should, there will be always some mess here, so I would recommend to have two cups. On and off switch on the side. Probably the functionality is slightly better than with DF83. Unfortunately, you cannot do a hot start on Niche Duo, something that I really like to do with all of my grinders. And the reason is that plastic cover, which by the way so many people hate, connects with the safety switch. So when the cover is up, you cannot really start the grinder unless you play with the safety switch. Because the cover is clear, you can see exactly what's going on inside the grinder, and there is lots of popcorning. I even recorded a short video about the popcorning, so you can check on that. Sometimes the coffee bits jump through that plastic cover and they end up on your countertop. Now, I mentioned the grinder is light, and one of the reasons is that there is a much smaller engine inside. So obviously this will be a slower grinder. On average for espresso I have to wait at least 20 seconds for 18 grams of coffee. Retention wise, feels like it's slightly better than DF83. Niche Duo does not come with the blower, and lots of people say we shouldn't use the blower because of this or that. I like to use the blower, so I use the blower, the Mr. Puffer from my Cafec. You could probably still use that ugly sucking cup that we use for the Niche Zero. I have the link somewhere in the description if you want to buy it on Amazon. It's about 10 pounds or so. Now about the burrs. Why Niche Duo? Well, because it comes with two sets of burrs. You've got the burrs for espresso and you also get burrs for the pour over. Clever solution, and that's probably the most exciting thing about this grinder. So both are the mother burrs. Niche loves mother burrs. Having two sets, it's almost like having two grinders for the price of one. The alignment of those burrs though was not great. The pour over burrs, one side was completely off. Espresso burrs looks like slightly better. I tried to realign them, I tried to put some shims underneath. I'm not great at that, so I'm not claiming that they are perfectly aligned, but slightly better now than before. DF83 agree. The initial alignment straight out of the box, it wasn't that bad. Now, the price. The price obviously is an important factor. And they are very similar in the same, so they are clear competition to each other. Now, you can get a niche duo with just one set of burrs, but then can you call it a niche duo? So a few things that I've noticed while seasoning those grinders. DF83, I managed to clog it a few times. My one is the version 1, but since then I modified the chute and the declamper with Brewista stuff and it's much better. While seasoning niche duo, it never happened. Never. I also notice if I use DF83 a lot, just for my test, not on a daily use, but if I run it for let's say 8 minutes laying with my coffee, the outside of the grinder gets hot, like really hot. With niche duos, even after running 1 pound of coffee, like continuously, I haven't noticed the grinder getting hotter. One thing that I've noticed though, especially when you use the RDT, the beans can stack together and they can kind of sit on that plastic bits in between and then you have to push them with your finger. Fortunately there is that safety switch so you won't risk your finger if you put it too deep. Now just a quick sound test. Much deeper, and you can see how everything vibrates here. When I put the cola, it rattles a lot. Look how much faster it goes. I've talked a lot, I want some coffee, you want results. Let's do the espresso first. We're going to use La Marzocco Oliva style profile on Decent. You will see the recipe and the settings somewhere on the screen. Because I love DF83 so much, the only fair way to do this test is to run the blind taste. As always, I will have 2 glasses on the rotating plate. Underneath each glass there will be a number. Number 1, that's for niche, and number 2, that's for DF83. We're going to use the coffee that I've roasted myself, the coffee from Brazil. Well, let's do it. Okay, so we have 2 shots, they look almost identical. I will choose one at random. Cheers. Juicy, deep, sweet, dark chocolate in the background. The shot is nicely balanced. The body I would say kind of in the middle. By itself, very tasty shot. Some water. And the other one. Cheers. Slightly thinner body. Looks like the bitterness went down, but the sourness went up. So I get more kind of a clarity in this shot. The first one, I got more like an overall pleasant experience. Difficult to decide today. With this coffee, probably the shot number 1 overall was tastier. I enjoyed both of those shots for the different reasons. So let's reveal the shot. The first shot has to be number 1. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it is number 1. So that's the niche duo. Now you remember in my first videos about DF83 I said how close flavor spectrum is to the niche 0, but that was before I changed the declamper, and that simple thing changed a lot in the flavor notes, in the spectrum of flavors. So the shots, they lost a little bit more body than they gained on the clarity. You may say, Jack, but we only drink like a classic espresso. Which one we should go for? Very good question, I will try to answer. So I have this coffee, that's the Plot Coffee Roaster. The roasters from London. This particular one is from Ecuador. 1:2 ratio using a default profile on Decent. In a real life probably will take me like half an hour to dial the coffee in, but here in the studio it will only take 1, 2, 3. Oh, so we end up with 2 shots in around 40 seconds each. Let's choose one at random. Cheers. Very fruity. Apples I can taste because of the ratio, the body slightly better. Clear shot. Some water. And the other shot. The difference now is not as obvious as is in the first shots. I try to compare the body and it's about the same. I get a bit more sweetness in the second shot. I think I get a little bit more cherries. Again, 2 very good shots. Because I'm getting a little bit more cherryness here, I probably would go for this one. There is more like a sweet sourness here in this shot. Let's reveal the shot that gave me a little bit more cherryness. And that is number 1. So this one is a niche duo. Interesting that the difference in a body was not more obvious, but the flavor notes towards sourness with DF83. On the niche, more sweetness, possibly slightly less in-your-face clarity. Now is the last test for today. We're going to do pour over using Oria brewer. You will find the recipe somewhere on the screen, and we will go for this Manhattan coffee roasters. I always try to lower the temperature of the second cup so they are not immediately obvious. I will choose one at random. Cheers. Sourness, there is a sweetness, nothing too sharp in this cup, everything balanced, kind of nothing special but nothing bad either. Some water. Cheers. This cup slightly less sourness. I mean, it's a kind of a different sourness, kind of a sweet sourness. Guys, honestly, those two cups, not much difference. I will go for the first cup that I tasted, so this one, because slightly more sourness, slightly more juiciness, more complex flavors. I could look for those fruits and so on. The other one maybe more balanced but quieter. I went for... it's number 2, DF83. Interesting, but honestly, since I improved the shoot and a declamper on DF83, I have been using it for the pour-overs with very decent results. Here we have it, guys. It took me hours. So if you reach to this part of the video without skipping, it is compulsory now to click like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. My final conclusions, not easy to give you a straight answer which one to go for. In all of those cups, it looks like DF83 moves more towards sourness. It feels, especially in espresso, those longer shots of espresso, it feels like there is more clarity. In the shots 1:2 ratio, I couldn't find that much difference. If you are looking for a classic espresso, you would lean more towards niche duo. If you're looking for more like a modern espresso with the more clarity, the F83 is probably better for you. In a pour over, again, they were very close, little bit more sourness and kind of that more story in the cup from the F83, but no huge differences. With milk-based drinks, possibly a niche duo would be slightly better because on average it has a little bit more bitterness. People always say, oh, niche is so easy, the workflow and everything. I mean, the workflow on both of them, damn easy. The only difference is when you change the burrs on a niche duo, the 0 point is still where it should be, while on DF83 you have to remove grind indicator, so when you put it back on, you would have to find the 0 again. Look-wise, DF83 probably would win for most. The quality of build, the longevity is difficult to say. Time will tell which one is better. For me, the most exciting thing with the niche duo is how easy it is to change the burrs. But I'm not sure if for the regular user it's so exciting as for myself. Let me know in the comments. If you drink maybe 50% of espressos, 50% of the pour over, the niche duo seems like a better choice. But otherwise, just go for the grinder that is cheaper, because whichever you choose, you will be really happy. In the comments, let me know what you think about each of those grinders. Do you have DF83? Are you excited about niche duo? Share your thoughts, share your experiences with any of those grinders. Plenty more things coming, but for today, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jack, this is my coffee show, and hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you, bye!